So what I think about the Kawhi Leonard situation that his uncle wanted to negotiate ownership of the Lakers and a private jet and endorsements and to keep himself silent. You know what they always say? The quiet ones you got to keep an eye on. But the guy is very polarizing in the fact that he's one of the greatest players ever. And when he plays, um, I ain't mad with Kawhi Leonard. I ain't mad with him. And I think Pablo Torres, you kind of put this underneath your hat and keep it moving. I don't know why it's a big deal. First of all, let me use some logic. Steve Bannon, who bought the Clippers from Donald Sterling's races behind, and Robert Sarver and Phoenix's races behind. The NBA don't want no scandal. Now, they don't want no one to really question their paper game, even though you remember when the pandemic went down, the Lakers took out the PPL loan, and you remember that dude that worked for Trump said, I don't think they can with the money. Where's the money coming from? There's money, they make money through corporate sponsors, etc. This is why it's much ado about nothing for me for one major reason. Baseball players get paid crazy amount of money. And with the contracts, if you're throwing $200 or $300 around, well, yeah, there's going to be some kind of balloon payment or something like this. They stand to make tens of billions of dollars with all the apps, all the TV money. Now, if Kawhi Leonard hadn't taken his services and he hadn't won in San Antonio, where he was an NBA Finals MVP, he got shipped off to Toronto because they were trying to get rid of him. I think one of the reasons why I got to give Kawhi Leonard an out on this is because I saw what Popovich and them did. He was hurt, and he did take a nasty, unfortunate spill against Golden State, which was a thuggery move. Andrew Bogut hit him in his leg. We don't know. I'm not saying they would have beaten Golden State, but they were up by 25 in the third quarter. We'll never know how that would have turned out if he wasn't the same. So you can run the risk of a serious injury. He goes to Toronto, another country. Pay attention. They're setting up global enterprises around the world. He wins a chip. He shuts the haters up. Even because it was like a running joke. And I have this running joke that when they want to get rid of you, they send you to El Salvador, somewhere where you ain't going to be heard from again. And he proved them wrong. They had to eat crow. So he demands the Lakers give him this and give him that. Why not? Sure, why not? Coming to America, why not? If you're a superstar player with 2 rings with 2 different teams and MVPs, and you done what he's done, and LeBron was crying to get him with AD, you know they was. Why not? Sure, why not? Because his fortune cookie before he came to the Clippers was definitely saying the guy was going to be all right. I ain't tripping about it. We don't say nothing about baseball players getting absurd amount of money. We ain't saying about Bryce Harper, who was polarizing, but we don't really care. Shohei Ohtani, we're not going to say about Shohei's money. We ain't going to say about Aaron Judge's money in baseball. They make a deal about it, but Steve Bannon, the owner of the Clippers, knows more. And, Mark Cuban's doing some talking. First of all, these owners know. They know. Yeah, they should give a partial ownership. I've been said that. But before you come at Kawhi Leonard, you better come at Michael Jordan, the gambling and the baseball, if you're going to do that. And the other things that LeBron James, how they got Kevin Love and the whole thing with Andrew Wiggins and the movement in Cleveland before he came back, and how the Celtics used to get down with pre-drafting, how they got Larry Bird, how you could draft ahead. They always been running games and hustles. It ain't nothing new. Ain't nothing new. And if you run Kawhi Leonard off, who says the other teams don't have some hustle going on and how they negotiate and how they do? Where the money coming from? How is it all legal and how is it everything? I'm not saying Kawhi don't look suspect or what have you, the low management, but at the same time and token, they employed the man. He's been there since what, 2020? They employed him. They didn't make money. They sold his jersey. They sold his likeness. He was picked as one of the 75 greatest basketball players ever. His postseason, and they built that stadium because of who he was being there. So don't act like you're in for some big Scooby Doo, like, because see, this is what they have you. Of course, Adam Silver and all them cats and Stern them all know about it. The only thing is that if they run Kawhi out, they got to run Steve Bannon out. They're not going to do that. The man's worth billions of dollars. Now, that would hit them in their pockets. They got to keep running owners out for doing dirty tactics under the table. But it's all tied together. It's all one big tax write-off. I ain't mad at Kawhi. His uncle asked for the whole nine and the ship. Sure, why not? What they're gonna do is tell you no. But if you are a great player, you should ask for some special privileges with the team because they pimp you. They sell your jerseys. They sell your wear and tear. And they give you token statues and this and that. And they still give some people money under the table. You think owners, when a guy retires, don't get a little slide here and there? You think that the commission of them don't slide something here and there? You kidding and fooling yourself. Um, there's a lot of that goes on in all the sports. It's a $1 billion industry. They just give you crumbs on the dollar. See, they really don't have to have no salary caps or all this restrictions. They pay what they want and how cats get down. And they make stuff go away. And this will go away too. You know. Just like the LeBron James love juice that keeps him playing forever and a day. But we ain't gonna touch that here, but we know what's going on. We know what's going on. They need distractions. They need something to kind of like wonder and sort and fear and what have you. But you gotta ask yourself, how cats be making all this money without some money being funny with Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Boston taking up all that money. I can go around the league. If we're gonna dig, we can dig. You know how they plant the loot, what they do with the loot. You know, we can do that. I ain't mad at Kawhi, but I always say them silent ones, the ones you gotta watch out for. And he's a diva, and he came to LA and he knew what he was doing. You know, and the thing about it is, better be glad he didn't win with Clipperland, because then his demands would have had to been met. But again, hey, play the hand you dealt. But again, if they're gonna let him, if they're gonna ever come after Kawhi, they gotta take the owner out. They gotta gonna do that. Please hit like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share the video if you like. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out. Peace.